Hi everybody, we are going ahead and proceeding with our lesson for the creation of the light bulb, and this is our second lesson or second tutorial where we are going to go ahead and create the screw and the rest of the details from the bulb. Now as you can see, I'm just modifying and creating the screw part that can be seen from the reference image. Just modifying the I'm just creating first this box as a reference where I can go ahead and connect those edges so we can create a inset for our screw element. We'll delete that and see what did we do. Control Z and we have our perspective view screen. So I'll select that part, I'll inset it a little bit and extrude, and probably will add loops to the whole screw. We just have to resize the thing because it looks kind of big. Select the edge and extrude outward, and we'll add two connections here. So we'll have our screw ready in no time. Now I'll connect these two edges here so we can preserve the hard edge and also the inner part of the screw. Change the color, wire color, and we'll add a turbo smooth and see how does it look in the end. Looks nice, smooth. Check out our picture a little bit. Just change the position a little bit. As you can see, our screw is almost ready for our entire scene. We'll just tweak a little bit those edges here. Connect them and go ahead and connect those two vertices. On the other side also, and just move them outward a little bit. As you can see, it looks smoother now than it was before. Go back again one more time. Just let me check the geometry, see what did we do. Just move the edges a little bit. And top part also, but edge constraint. Remember, you have to select edge constraint so we'll have nicer shape. Even though, as I said before, these were made hand by hand and they were not so accurate, they looked more natural. So you might have some unnatural shapes appearing throughout the entire model, but that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's why we're having these tutorials, so we can go ahead and add some imperfections to the appearance of the model. Now we'll add that wire, that inner part, that wire that brings electricity and lightens up the bulb. It's simple spline line, so and we can convert that to the Bezier curve, so we can modify the edges a little bit, just a little bit, add some smoothness, and make it visible on our viewport by rendering it. So in this tutorial we'll tackle the inner part. As you can see, the wiring is all over, actually like in circle shape like. So we have to go ahead and create, and those wire holders that actually these tiny wires are connected to them. We'll create a cylinder with small radius, just give it some height, and then we will duplicate the same wire so we can hang those tiny wires for that generate the light. We'll go in and proceed with modifications. Convert that to the editable poly. And connect that part connected to, and I will delete the other part because later on we will add a symmetry modifier to our model, so we don't have to model everything and each one of them separately. Add a couple of edges here because we need that extrude and chamfer, that cut that we just made. Select loop and just move it a little bit down, chamfer it a little bit, couple of chamfer. We will not turbo smooth this thing because it's way off from the camera side and it's not very visible. It's tiny, so you don't see any details appearing on its surface. It's just gonna hold the wires that are going to get hanged once we are finished with this part. We'll add symmetry modifier. Let me just find the it's modified. Probably we have to delete that and mirror the object and make a copy. And hiding everything, we just have to bring the centering. Forgot, we have to align it to the center. That was our mistake. And now, as you can see, we'll just go and manually just drag and unhide and just position that to its proper place. We'll collapse all this our inner part is almost finished. We'll just go ahead later on and create those wires that are actually hanging, the light wires. Simple metal techniques. As I said before, if you keep up or if you follow the tutorials, you'll be able to create a good looking and nice shapes and forms. And by the way, this is for me also some sort of a learning, because you always learn something new. I'll hide that. We'll hide this part also. Just center it a little bit. We have to go back and change the effect center, and then make a couple of copies. Once I turn on the angle snapping tool, one more time, slowly. Now these two, and we have our center part almost finished. We'll not create another symmetry for the lower part because it looks like they are just hanging there. There might be some sort of a object or a shape that is holding the lower parts of the wire, but we'll see. Light selection, and then I will attach all of these elements that we have created here. We'll do that manually because we have another object in the scene. And we are ready and almost done with our modeling of the centerpiece of the light bulb. I just made a copy here because it looks like there is supposed to be the same geometry on the lower part. Now we will use a rectangle spline. Go ahead and create those hanging wires. Change the thickness and add some curvature. Just tweaking the appearance. They don't have to be exactly according to the reference image. It can be approximation at the value actually what we can see. So it's centered. We'll go ahead and move it to the edge. Just tweaking the thickness a little bit. And we can go ahead and make a couple of copies and then select both of them, and with the rotate tool we can just go ahead and create duplicates for all of them. Even though I can make a couple of copies, but I want to make it sure that everything is at its proper position. The thickness is not satisfying, but later on I might change it when we render or go ahead and render. Then we have to get just to give it a little bit of shell modifier, so we can modify the thickness of those inner wires. Now we have to go ahead and just tackle some other things related. Just adding some, just lowering up the thickness. So they are approximately the same. I'm just lowering up the thickness and convert it to editable poly. One more time again, I can just tackle the edge here. I do not need to convert that to the poly. Just bring it a little bit closer to the shape. Just connect that. Just simple as that. Nothing complicated. Because I'm not doing a very close-up render on this one. So, but just I want to make sure that it is close enough with that wire. I'll just move the same one, create a copy, and move it to the other side. Looks like our bulb is almost, light bulb is almost finished. I'll convert that to the poly and attach all other ones that I have in my scene, and we can add a noise modifier. We can go ahead and change, just move them because they look too straight, too perfect. I'll add connections. And then I can add our modifier from a drop menu stack, noise in this case, and we'll just go ahead and ship. Add some fractal, make them imperfect because that's the way it's supposed to be. Looks nice. So that will be it for our lesson, for this part of the tutorial.